Hello viewers, right now I am in dirt. As you probably saw from the title, I will be showing off some of my creations on one of my creative worlds. It's just something I've been doing to try and work up my building skills, and I am ready to show you guys the result. I hope you enjoy, so let's get right to it. Okay, that is not what I'm talking about, just some experimentation. What I've been doing is making a series of temples. I start basic, where they all look pretty similar to each other, and then gradually level them up, let's say, so that they would be more unique from each other, and more pretty, and have more skill. So, first I am going to show you the minor temples. There's 3 levels right now: minor, greater, and major. Minor, they all look almost identical. But let's just get started. This is the minor forest temple. We have some mossy cobble, dirt because it would be in a plains environment, tiny little trees, and one bigger tree in the middle. So yeah, pretty basic. Over here we have the minor fire temple. This one has stone bricks, fire in the center, and little fire poles on the side. And yes, dirt here again because this would also be in a plains environment for people who want to worship fire or something. Here by a beach environment, we have the minor water temple. Of course, it's just generic fountains. Notice that each of these temples has 4 basic things on each corner, or whatever, and one bigger thing in the center. So yeah, that's the basic idea. Here we have the minor desert temple. Water being the bigger thing in the middle, because in the desert, water is a very important resource, and if you have religious beliefs around where you are, then you're probably going to worship water, or having water. This one is supposed to be underground, in a cave or whatever, the minor rock temple. And as you can see, there's a glowstone for lighting up caves, because some miners may use that. And the minerals that they have. That's what they do, so that's what they worship. Here is the minor ice temple in a taiga, or whatever it's called, environment. And with a little ice sculpture in the center. Here we are. This is one of my favorites out of the minor. The minor nether temple. Got some soul sand, nether brick, lava of course, because there's always going to be lava. And now we've got the minor holy temple. Lots of quartz of different variations, and a beacon. Yes, that would be very expensive to make. And here is the only Ender Temple, because I ran out of ideas already. The minor Ender Temple, portal here, and little, supposed to be like the obsidian towers in the end, on each side corner. Well, now that we got the minor temples, let's go on and look at the greater temples. Okay, so here we are, back at the minor forest temple. And here, we have the greater forest temple. Much more trees to make it more like a forest, and sticking with the mossy cobble, the shallow slope. And now we have these bigger trees, and they have their own little pools and everything. A nice little area to stand, I guess, in the middle. And that's that. Now we've got the greater fire temple. This one's pretty basic, steepest slope you can do with steps. And much bigger fire in the center, and there's twice as many fire little towers, and they are much bigger. Not really much to say about this one. It's pretty simple, but I like it. Now here's one of my favorites of the graders, the greater water temple. We have some somewhat elaborate little fountains going around everywhere, and then this pool area, because if you worship the sea and have a temple, you're gonna have a pool or whatever that's like your own mini ocean or something. I guess. I don't know. And here we have the Greater Desert Temple. The fountain is much more elaborate and is still in the center. There's some desert plant life, and of course, lots of sand. There's a circle area that you can walk around, and that is about it. There is the sand detail is supposed to make it kind of look like sand dunes. And notice how I use sandstone that most looks like pillar material here, and that looked more like carving or whatever material here in the center. And I just thought that was a cool thing to do. So, now we have the Greater Rock Temple. It's a lot taller, comparable to the Fire Temple. And these are supposed to be kind of like artificial stalagmites. And of course there's more glowstone, ores, much bigger ore pile here. And it's basically the same thing, but bigger. And then we have the Greater Ice Temple. This one I like as well. Good shallow slope. And a little ice ceiling, kind of. Like a veil. And an even bigger ice sculpture here in the center. There's not much lighting because that would melt it, but it kind of makes it more dramatic. And it feels cold. Here we go. The Greater Nether Temple. Lots of fire, lots of lava, and of course, a sacrificial pit. Oh, I have had some fun with this. Like, drop animals in there. It's hilarious. I'm sorry. We have soul sand here, lining the towers, and half slab, so I guess you could walk up to it, I guess. Now, the Greater Holy Temple, with 5 beacons. Lots of glowstone, lots of quartz, and these little tower things that will hold up the beacons, and a little room, so to speak, for this one. That has a first level beacon, and each of these towers has a first level beacon, and the main beacon is second level. So there's a pattern going on there, and you'll see with that next one. And here we are again, back at the forest. And here we are. I am showing you now the Greater, I called it? Major, right. The Major Forest Temple. Beautiful, right? Okay, I added a lot more trees, some more sizing, and I think it really feels like a bit of a glorified forest, which is kind of what I was going for. Got like glowstone now, so it's not just the holy temple anymore. Lighting up these ponds, lots of plant life, especially flowers. Hang on. And this main fountain in the middle now, so it's not just a bunch of empty space. And that also has glowstone at the bottom. So a view from up high. I really like this one. But now let us continue to the Major Fire Temple. And here it is. It has less fire towers, but they're definitely bigger and stronger. And here we have steps lined with fire. And not to mention a little building here at the top, possibly for some priest or whatever to be at. And even more fire here at the top. And yeah. The idea for the fire temples is it's supposed to go high and stuff. Something kind of like a volcano, I guess. And lots of fire. Definitely lots of fire. And when you see it from up above, and see how all the lights are synced, it's almost like pulsating, which is creepy. But anyways, let's move on to the major water temple. I kept the steps everywhere idea from the grader, and I added this. A circle with cascading waterfalls along the sides, a walkway up to the place where the water is so that you can like dive in or something, I guess. And up here, I suppose these are levitating and magically holding up this block, which is pouring this water. My main personal issue with this is I feel I should have added more variations to block, like more types of blocks instead of just stone bricks and glowstone. Where, like here, I had dirt, flowers, wood, mossy stone. There I had netherrack, coal, glowstone, stone bricks, and etc. So this is probably the plainest, but I think it has one of the more unique architectures with the circle. And I like that. And I hope you guys do. I hope you guys do too. The major desert temple. A very shallow slope with 2 circles this time going around the temple. Here the main fountain is very intricate in comparison. And there is some provided shade, which would also be very important in a desert. Of course, lots of sand, some desert plant life, and a tree, or at least my best attempt at a desert-like tree. Yeah, because this is basically an oasis. There is going to be trees with something this good, I suppose. The major rock temple. Here you have simple glowstone lanterns, a very expensive pile of minerals here in the center. Here unrefined minerals here at the sides, and refined at the corners. This one is a lot flatter, which would be good for the idea that it's in a cave. Something I probably should have considered with the previous one, but this would fit quite a bit better with a low ceiling. It's not really saying much, but it would fit better. And there's plenty of lighting with glowstone. And yeah, that's basically all I can think of to say about it. Not one of my favorites. Again, no lighting because that would melt everything. I couldn't fit a bigger ice sculpture here in the middle, so I had to use the same size as the last time. But I think it still looks nice, especially with this double ice sculpture ceiling. First you have a little pyramid, and then you have a unfinished dome. It kind of brings a bit of an igloo feel. And here on the snow we have tiny little alpine trees that would make it fit in very well with an alpine scenario. The major nether temple. It's basically an overgrown version of the greater. More lava, more fire, and what I like is these double steps. Really gives it a big feel. A much larger sacrificial pit, and that thing. I could have made it look better, I just didn't know how, but this is supposed to be some sort of evil god or something that you're sacrificing to. And since this is a bigger... Oh, you weren't supposed to... This is nothing. So now that the nothing is gone... I tried various materials for this, but none of them really seemed right. This still doesn't, but... Anyways, the idea is bigger temple, more sacrifices, more reason for the evil dude to be here. And thus, a small incarnation of him is hovering above it. Something like that. Much more prominent pillars. There's a double-layered main section, water streaming off the sides, creating triple staircases. And in the center there is a much larger pool. Good view of the cascading water.